Hello everybody. Oh my god, my face looks fucking red as shit. I really don't have long to record this video because my friend is on the way right now to pick me up to see Longlegs. Hopefully I get this video out tonight, the same night I am seeing the movie, because I really just want it early. I want everybody to be able to see and my opinions and what I think, but I thought it would be fun to make this before I go and kind of give what I think the movie is going to be about. I don't know much about this movie. I didn't even know this movie existed until the trailer played before Abigail. That trailer honestly was kind of creepy. What do I think the movie is about? What am I expecting? I'm going into this movie expecting something for the true crime girlies. I'm also going in with the notion that I'm afraid it's going to be overhyped, okay? I think it's going to be, in my mind, on a level of like artsy, kind of like Hereditary, where that's very artsy, and I think it's going to be a bit more gruesome because I know it does follow a serial killer. I don't think it's going to be like Saw levels of gore, but I think it's going to be a little nasty. I'm so excited. This is probably, at this point, the highest anticipated movie I have this year. I think for a lot of horror enthusiasts, it is. So I am very excited, very nervous. I hope it's good, and I will be back for you in a cut, for me in like probably 3 hours to record my final comparison and review, final wrap up of what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a very artsy crime movie. Like I said, this is probably for the true crime girlies. I'm not really a true crime person, but I feel like it's going to give very much crime. And a lot of people also have been comparing it to Silence of the Lambs. And I watched that a few years ago. I think I definitely need to rewatch it. I wasn't the biggest fan back then. I could appreciate what the movie was, and I love that it was the only horror movie to ever win Best Picture. I wasn't head over heels for it, so that part of the anticipation I'm not excited for, because I hope it surprises me and I receive it better than I previously received Silence of the Lambs, because Silence of the Lambs is not my favorite horror movie. I'm hoping it's very creepy. I'm hoping it's unique. At the end of the day, my biggest wish is that it's scary and it is unique. And that's all I could ever ask for a horror movie. So, I will be back in a... Here I am, back from Longlegs, and it was really good. It was really, really good. I have criticisms, but overall, a great time. To keep it spoiler-free for now, I rewatched my expectations going in, and I know that I mentioned Silence of the Lambs and Hereditary, and there definitely is remnants of those in my mind, but it's very unique, and I know that was my finishing statement. Longlegs is a very unique film. If I had to give you comparisons going in, I would say that it is very similar to Hereditary, Silence of the Lambs, and I would throw in Seven, like a more crime movie. It's very FBI crime heavy, but it definitely has horror elements. It is very creepy. There are two main aspects of the movie that I think stick out to me the most. One is that it is very crime-solving heavy. Like I said, it's definitely one for the horror true crime girlies. It was very intense. There was a lot of detective work. I will say that I would give this like a 4 out of 5 because the middle of the film did drag a bit, okay? I love a fast-paced, very well-told story in a horror movie, and this had the story down, okay? From the beginning, the opening scene, the two opening scenes, I'm going to say that there's two opening scenes in this movie, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Both opening scenes of this movie, delicious. Loved it, scary, intense, built the tension, really good. And we watched the detective devolve into solving the case of Longlegs, trying to find him, break it, you know, like a true crime. And they build up a lot of the exposition. I had a realization where I was like, okay, I myself, as not a detective, as not a police officer, as not an FBI agent, can kind of piece together where the story is going. And the characters were still milling in it a bit. And I guess I understand, like, in trying to make it realistic, like, for legal purposes. But I felt like that aspect of it did drag a bit. but the climax and like there are many twists, I guess. I wouldn't say it's like M. Night Shyamalan level of, oh my gosh, it's the twist, I didn't see it coming, because they definitely lay the groundwork for the twists that do end up happening. However, it was very good, very effective, and I think that the ending was very strong and left a very good impression of the movie. To recap, before I get into spoilers, great beginning. Exposition starts very strong, plateaus a bit, and then once we start getting to the climax and the end of it, great. Ends on a very high note, just a little valley in the middle. So now, getting into spoilers of the movie, I want to start the spoilers off by saying this movie is satanic heavy, okay? I knew from descriptions and from people saying it that it dealt with satanic rituals, or I thought it was a cult, but it is very satanic heavy. Basically, Longlegs is a serial killer that worships Satan, and he gives dolls to families that have Satan and the devil inside of them. So once these families receive the doll, from my understanding, this wasn't explicitly told, but I was piecing together that they are given a choice of either stabbing the doll, and if they stab the doll, they're like killing the devil, and then the devil will get inside of the husband usually and kill the family, and that's how the murders happen. Or they can cover it because there's a cloth, and then they're basically joining Longlegs in worshiping and helping him. So in conjunction with that, why I felt the middle and a decent amount of the exposition started to snag was that they were stuck on trying to figure out who the accomplice was. And it was very evident because they kept saying, Longlegs isn't at the murder scenes. He's not there when they're dying. Longlegs isn't at the family's houses when they're getting killed. And I was understanding. I was like, okay, babe, the devil is doing it. He's doing his worshipy magic or whatever, and he's possessing the dolls, and the dolls are releasing the devil to kill the family. I was picking up on that. Part of me was trying to put in my head that, okay, maybe in their universe, they're trying to keep it realistic, and they need a person, they need a suspect. They can't just say, the devil's killing people. But the main character, okay, the main character is said to be psychic from the beginning. So I'm like, if we can believe that the main character is psychic, it's not that far of a jump to say that the devil's killing people. In my opinion, sorry, it's not that far of a jump. Anyway, they stew on the who's the accomplice for a while, but it does ramp up. And I will say, though, what I felt like was the biggest twist. So in the film, they do first find a doll. That's where I got the whole Longlegs gives the family a doll, the doll is possessed, and it's basically the devil from the doll that's killing the families, it's possessing them, they're getting killed, and that's how he's killing these families while not being on site. However, the twist is that our main character had a visit with Longlegs when she was a little girl, because basically this is a lot of the lore of the story, but he only kills families when the daughter is born on the 14th of a given month. And so our main character is older now because she survived, but he doesn't fully kill. It's not survived, okay? She had a run-in with Longlegs, and so she has this weird connection with him. We as the viewer see these flashbacks of Longlegs and her in this past, but her as the character doesn't have these memories. So the twist is that her mother was a single mother, and back in the day her mother was given the doll and her mother didn't stab it. Her mother basically welcomed the doll in to protect her daughter. There's a scene near the end where Longlegs has the mother tied up, and she's the mother is voiceovering the scene, and she's like, I just would do anything, please. She was like, I begged and pleaded with him to help. So she, the mother of our main character, is the accomplice the whole time. And that was a gag, because basically the mother is the one, not Longlegs. The mother is acting as a woman from the church, and she's giving the family the dolls, and then she has to stay and witness the family get possessed and murder each other to make sure that the devil's following her orders. So that was very gaggy. I very much was happy with that. It made sense in the context of the story. And I think that ended really great. And so the ending, the actual final scenes, is the cop that is partnered with our main character. I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting her name. But the male cop that is partnered with her, his daughter is the final birthday, like on the 14th. And the final scene is basically the mother of the main character and this family of the partner and our main character, the girl, are in the murder scene. So the little girl of the detective has the doll, and the husband, who is the partner detective, gets possessed and he kills his wife, and then our main character shoots him, and then she shoots her mom, but then she tries to go to kill the doll and she can't, like, she runs out of bullets. So the end scene is just her with a gun pointed at the doll that's possessed and has the little girl with her. Overall, very effective. Like I said, it was really creepy. And Nicolas Cage as Longlegs, okay? The opening scene, there's so many gags in this movie. I feel like I just am spewing everything out. The movie split into 3 parts. Like, part 1 is like the letters, part 2 is all your things, and then part 3 is, I don't even remember what part 3 is. So there's an opening scene before we even get to like the whole parts, and that is basically our main character as a young girl getting visited by Longlegs, and all we see is her look outside at a car, and the opening scene's also very Michael Myers-esque. Like, the car is similar to what Michael Myers drives, and like you're in the passenger seat with Longlegs and you can't see him. The opening scene is the little girl like out in her yard, and then you only see, like, this is how you see Longlegs. You basically see Longlegs like this. Like, you only see his mouth and like his torso. And girl, his face is like, he has like light white his face is very pale. It's like he has powder on. And like the opening scene is like him talking to the little girl, and then he jumps down. It was so creepy. So then we get into the first part, and the main character is now older. She's an FBI agent, and which we don't know that it's the same girl at this point, but she's with her detective friend, and they're trying to find a different killer. This is when we start to like have the inkling that she has a psychic ability, because she's looking at this house and she's like, he's in that house. And her partner cop opens the door and gets shot. No inclination, no jump scare. He literally gets shot. Like, when I tell you, this movie has gags for days, okay? It was just so good. If you are on the fence about watching this, I would say 100% watch it. If you are watching this video to question or wonder if you should see this movie, I would 100% say go see it in theaters. It is such a good theater experience. Seeing that on the screen was so good. Like I said, a lot of the triggers are demonic possession. It's not possession in like a Conjuring sense, like, we're getting good, but it's definitely devil worship and devil stuff and serial killing. The kills themselves are not graphic, so if you're worried about gore, there is 1 or 2 gory moments. We see like a decomposed family, and there's just like people kind of getting killed with axes and stuff, but it's not on the level of like Saw. If you're worried about it being very gruesome, you don't ever see anybody get like sliced down the middle and arms are chopped off. It's nothing that crazy. So if you feel inclined to watch it, I would 100% say see it. It fairly lives up to the hype. I think it's slightly overhyped. I was expecting to be like shaking and quaking in my boots, where I don't think I was that scared, but it definitely is worth a lot of the hype. It was so entertaining, so worth my time. One of the best horror movies released this year, probably the best. Abigail was great, and Abigail's more up my alley. It's a little bit more fast-paced and like silly a little bit, but also very heartfelt. This definitely, like I said, had a lull in the middle where it got a little slow, but very effective, very twisty, and a very good film, and very creepy visuals. Like I said, Nicolas Cage as Longlegs, terrifying. Okay, he was very creepy. He looked like he was wearing a mask. Definitely recommend. Have you seen Longlegs? Are you watching this and trying to get spoilers, or have you seen it yourself? Tell me in the comments. I literally want to talk to people about this movie. I saw it with my friend, and on the ride home, we were gagged. We were laughing. We were talking about it. It was such a fun time. It was such a good watch. Our theater was packed. I'm so happy that at least opening weekend is selling out and doing well. I know that this is an independent film, but it is so good. It was so entertaining. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you stick around to see my opinions on other things. Thanks, and bye.